Welcome everyone. Let's begin our lesson for today by going over the learning goals and success criteria. First, what are we learning? We're learning how to determine how base values, coefficients, and constants will affect the graph of an exponential function and how to graph exponential functions. How are we learning it? Through the Graphing Exponential Functions Part 3 notes and the Graphing Exponential Functions Part 3 assignment. When can we use this information? To calculate the amount of money in a savings account including interest. How do we know we learned it? By getting a score of 4 on the Graphing Exponential Functions Part 3 assignment. Now let's take a look at our agenda for today. We will begin by going over the learning goals and success criteria. While we do that, you'll fill out your Get It Started. Once you've completed your Get It Started, we'll go over it together and answer any questions that you may have. After that, we'll go over the Graphing Exponential Functions Part 3 notes, and then I'll give you time to complete the Graphing Exponential Functions Part 3 assignment on IXL. Once you've completed the assignment, we'll go over it together and answer any questions that you may have. At the end of class, we'll go back over our learning goals and success criteria while you fill out your Before You Go. Your only homework for tonight is to continue working on the Exponential Function Study Guide and any incomplete assignments that you may have. Let's take a look now at the Graphing Exponential Functions Part 3 notes. The notes begin with the learning goals and success criteria. Now, let's take a look at exponential functions with bases less than 1. So when the base of an exponential function is less than 1, the curve will remain above the x-axis, and the curve will be the same, but the curve will go down instead of up. For example, we have y equals 1/3 to the x power times 4. So notice this is smaller than 1, and a normal curve goes up, but if we have a value here, a base number less than 1, it's going to go downward as we go from left to right. So it looks exactly the same as 3 to the x, except it's just mirrored over to the other side and going this direction. Now what if the base is negative? Well, when the base is negative, the graph will flip below the x-axis and will go down instead of up. For instance, we have y equals -3 to the x times 4. So here, it's going to flip and go downward below the x-axis. It's going to be exactly the same graph as 3 to the x, but it's just going to be down this direction. So it's going to be like it was reflected down below the x-axis. Now what if we were to add a constant? So when a constant is added to an exponential function, the graph will shift up or down, but the curve will stay the same. So if we had y equals 3 to the x times 4 plus 2, then it would look like this. So it would look exactly the same as y equals 3 to the x times 4, except we're going to slide it up 2 units. So now the line it doesn't cross is y equals 2 instead of the x-axis. Now, what if it was 3 to the x times 4 minus 2? Same thing, except now it's going to shift down and go this direction. So it's the same as 3 to the x times 4, except we're going to slide it down, and now the line it won't cross is y equals -2. Now what if we do a sum of exponents, meaning we add something to the exponent? Well, that will cause the graph to shift to the right or to the left. So for instance, we have y equals 3 to the x plus 2 times 4. So what that should look like is, notice it's the same curve, and because this is in the exponent, we're always going to go opposite. So you would think that we'd go x plus 2 means we're going to slide to the right. But because it's in the exponent, we're going to go opposite. So it becomes x minus x plus 2 becomes a shift to the left. So notice it's the same graph as 3 to the x times 4, except we slid it to the left 2 units. Now what if it was 3 to the x minus 2 times 4? Well, same thing. We're going to slide it, but this time we're going to slide it to the right 2, because we always go opposite when we talk about exponents. So we're slide it to the right 2, and it becomes this graph. It should look exactly the same as 3 to the x times 4, except we're going to slide it to the right. There's a video here that shows you how to check exponential functions in Desmos, so you can go ahead and watch that video as well. Let's talk now about how we can use Desmos to check our work when dealing with exponential functions. So we'll go here to desmos.com and we're going to click on Graphing Calculator. and it should take us to a page that looks like this. Right here is where we can enter the equation for our exponential function. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's say it was y equals 2 to the x. Well, as we can see, it graphs it for us. It shows us what the curve looks like. And we can enter any equation in here. Let's say we had y equals 1/2 to the x minus 5 power. Well, now it has our new equation with our curve going down, and it is half as steep, right? And we can see that it's slid over to the right. So we can graph any equation using Desmos and check our work so that we can see exactly what the graph of the line should look like. So that's how you can use Desmos to check your work when dealing with exponential functions. Let's talk now about how to access your assignments on IXL using SBLink. So what you'll do is you'll click on the link that takes you to your SBLink, which should look like this, and you're going to log in the same way you would log into your computer. So the first part for your username is going to be the first part of your email address without the @sbcusd.ca.us. So it should be your last name, first initial, middle initial, and then the last 4 of your student ID. Then for your password, it's the same password you use to log into your Chromebook. From there, you'll go ahead and click Sign In. And it should take you to a page that looks kind of like this. You're going to go find the link that says IXL, which is right here. And I'm going to go ahead and click on that link. And it should take me to the IXL login page. So it should look like this. At the top right corner, it should say welcome and then your name. If it does not say your name, then you're not logged in and you won't receive credit for your work. As long as this is good, you can go ahead and close that tab out. And then you can go to your Google Classroom. And then you'll go and find the activity, which is here. And I'm going to click on the IXL link right here. And this will take me to the assignment that I need to complete. So that's how you log into your assignments on IXL using SBLink. Let's take a look now at the Graphing Exponential Functions Part 3 assignment. Our assignment begins with our learning goals and success criteria. If we scroll down, there's a link here that'll take us to SBLink. This will allow you to access the IXL activity. Once you've logged in, you'll come back to this page and click on the link to take you to your IXL page. When you click on that link, it should take you to a page that looks like this. The first question says, complete the table for the function y equals 8 to the x power. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug each of these values in for x. So when we plug in -1 for x, we get 8 to the -1st power, which is really just 1 over 8 to the 1st power. So that's just 1 over 8. And then when we plug in 0, so 8 to the 0, remember anything to the 0 power is just 1. So 8 to the 0 power is just 1. And then we plug 1 in for x. So 8 to the 1st power is 8. And then 8 to the 2nd power is 64. So there's my table. Then I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to plot the points. Well, 1/8 is going to be hard to find on the graph, so I'm going to go ahead and ignore that one for now. I have 0, 1. Well, that's easy, right? So x is 0, y is 1. So I go ahead and plot that first point. And then my second point, x is 1, y is 8. So let's go ahead and do that. So x is 1, y is 8, right there. I plot that point and notice it creates my graph. I'm going to go ahead and click submit. It tells me I got it right and my SMART score goes up. You'll continue to answer questions until you get a SMART score of 80. That's your goal, is to get a SMART score of 80. If you miss a question, your SMART score will go down. That's okay. Just keep answering questions until your SMART score goes up. Once you've completed this assignment, go ahead and go back to your Google form and click Next. This will send you to your Before You Go. Go ahead and fill out your Before You Go and then submit your work on Google Classroom.